Funimation, any of us here? So she and I are the only Funimation.
I began with ADV Films back in the day.
There you go.
Okay.
Back in the day.
I like that.
Okay, all right. I'm just trying to find out what we all have in common. A lot of people don't realize that like 95% of anime is done in Texas. So it's either in Dallas or in Houston. All right. So and yours
Is it 95%?
Yeah.
It may not be anymore.
It's not quite that.
That's probably not.
That's a high number. I'm like, how did I even work then?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
I might be working off of old data.
I'm working in a 5% of all anime.
That's not great for us in LA.
Well, John Swayze said as far as anime goes, John Swayze.
So I'll be moving after this convention to Dallas.
I was quoting. They let a lot of people do remotes now. Are you remote doing for Crunchyroll?
You know, they invite me to audition, but since doing Attack on Titan during COVID, I have yet to work on anything. They send me the auditions, but they tend to prefer the Dallas-based people.
Okay.
So.
And Sarah, where do you do your voiceovers when you were doing them?
I'm based in LA. I live in New York sometimes, so when I did Alia, I did it in LA and New York. Yeah, never went in. But I've seen The Office, and it's beautiful.
I like that answer as well. Okay. So I when it comes to me doing my voices, I work off of impressions. I'm mainly an impressionist and a voice match. Do you guys have the ability? They always tell me, hey, when you look at a character, what do you think he sounds like? I always start mine from, well, what do you want him to sound like? Samuel L. Jackson, and we'll move from there. We'll go with the different frequencies.
Do you always start with Samuel L. Jackson no matter what the character looks like? I'm just curious if that's your whole
Same.
process.
For me too, just Sam Jackson.
Sam Jackson?
Every time.
No.
Yeah.
I either start with that or I start with
He's a small gnome. Okay,
Arnold.
what do you think about Samuel Jackson? Should I start there?
Well, yeah. Well, I tell them
Sly
the
Stallone?
impressions that I can do. I say, what impression do you think it's closest to the way the character looks? We were talking about this in the green room over there. Do you have the ability just to look at characters? How do you figure out what your characters sound like? This applies to everyone. So,
Well, if I have an image of the character, ideally I would kind of look at the image first, get whatever ideas just in my head for a second, then read the description, see which ones work with that, and then go with that first, and then maybe for a second take, jump back to something I thought when I first saw them, even if it's slightly different. Sometimes it's cool to play against character, try something a little different, but definitely give them what they asked for to start, so they don't tune you out immediately, like, nope, that's not what we said.
okay. Is it the same for a lot of you as well?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to read first, kind of like looking at the character first. I like to read the script first and kind of get what my instincts are with the character and then read the directions. So then I've already gotten my impression of what I think it should be, and then I can layer on what their expectation is, so I'm still being truthful to myself.
Yeah, I just like to preview it in the Japanese because I feel like the animation gives you so many clues.
If it's anime, that's true. I was just thinking a general character, but yes.
If it's anime, it gives you so many clues.
Okay.
When I did Ellie from Borderlands, I didn't know what she looked like. They didn't know what she looked like when I recorded her, so that was weird. They just played Scooter and said, "Can you sound like this?" And I was like, "Yes, I can." And so I just had to sound related to her and be ridiculous and but it was weird without it. I didn't know what she looked like till the trailer came out.
That happens.
Yeah.
That happens to a lot of people. They have no idea what they look like, and then they're totally changed.
And then
Sometimes
you're
they change
like, "Oh,
the
good, I got it
ethnicity
right."
of the character. Too. I've heard
Surprise.
stories of that where people are like, uh-oh, suddenly I'm not black, but I'm playing a black character, and
Whoopsies.
not for me, but other people, because
so
I am
funny.
black, so that wouldn't make sense for me. But yeah, but that freaks people out. People are like, oh my God, am I in trouble? I didn't even know. They didn't tell me.
Well, Lucy said something really interesting that she likes to watch the anime before. Now, I did the voices 25 years ago, and I do mainly stand-up comedy. I don't do as many voiceovers or any of that stuff anymore. I'm touring doing stand-up. But you mentioned something really neat. You said that you could watch the anime before, so you watched the Japanese anime. Well, during Dragon Ball Z, they didn't even have those for us to do. So we had no reference point. Except for the Canadian voice actors, because a lot of people don't know the first 60 episodes were done here. We're done in Canada. Then they moved it to Texas, so we had to try to copy their voices. But we didn't have any references, and it's kind of odd that the main character in Japan is a female. Goku is a female and always has been. So I don't know if I would try to go towards that tone if I watched it as well. Does that become a problem with you? Do you try to match their tone or frequency, kind of?
Well, luckily, Sean Schimmel sounds like a woman, so
Damn.
We have that on tape.
Send it to him. He'll love it.
I don't know. I mean, for me, I don't necessarily try to match tone unless sometimes they ask you we want you to try to sound as close to the Japanese tone as possible. But usually it's the vibe. Like it's the vibe. But again, I think I take more from the animation.
Do you guys get those auditions where it's like each line has a reference in the original language? I like to play
Yeah.
a little game where I don't listen to the reference and I just do my own thing, and then I listen to the rest and I'm like, nailed it. How did I know?
That rocks.
And you can't always just, I mean, like, tone is important. It's kind of, you have to look at everything. And here's why, like, there's some cultural differences, especially if it's something that was originally in, let's say, Japanese or something. Because there's been some video games where the intent of the character, female character, is that she's supposed to be incredibly sexy. And so they gave her a very high-pitched schoolgirl voice, which in America
Awkward.
is fine, but is not what when you say sexy, we usually go deeper, Jessica Rabbit kind of a vibe.
Yes.
So it's a little tightrope you're walking because you're trying to honor what the character was supposed to be, but some fans will go, it's supposed to sound like a little girl. Well, actually it was supposed to be really, really sexy. Do you know what I mean? So there's culture differences, and we're always trying to walk that, that line and give you something that works.
So Griffin, how does it work with you, Griffin? Do you like to look at the characters ahead of time? Or?
I never do, honestly. It also depends what you're auditioning for. If it's anime, I'll look at the character design on the one sheet or the audition sheet that they send, and I'll play the reference files. But for me, I tend to play a lot of younger characters. So honestly, voice choice is not really a thing I have to think about too much. It's like it's a young character, so I'll either really dial it young, make it super, youthful and like I'm a teenager, or I'll just keep kind of my regular voice, or I'll just go slightly deeper. But I don't have to do like.
Wow.
I'm not like I have to. Okay, this character's like Samuel L. Jackson. It's most of the stuff that comes across my plate just happens to be like younger stuff. So
Well, I think too, when it's people, it makes a difference too.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily have to do crazy different voices
Right.
or,
Yeah.
which is, I think, what I thought when I first got into
Yeah.
the industry, that I had to have all these different crazy voices. And that's not really
Right.
the case when you're playing people.
yeah, and I would tell anyone who's like interested in voiceover, you don't have to have like a million impressions or have like some booming voice. You just have to really find what you're good at. So, if you play a young mom or whatever, and that's your jam.
Like me.
Yep, like Keith. Then just run with that and get really, really good at young mom or whatever. So, some people don't know what their voice is. So go to a class, get somebody to give you feedback, and be like, "Hey, you play a good young mom." So,
Thank you.
Yeah, Keith.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
That's my 2 cents.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Funimation used to always have me play characters that were creatures. So I had Berter, who's a creature, or a cat, or whatever. I was telling them earlier, a lot of them have regular, normal characters. What's easier for you, a regular person character, or or the creatures? Each one of you. I was just curious because
Well, I think
creatures
it-
are easier for me. I can't look at I did a Yu-Gi-Oh audition, totally lost. Looked at the character, was like, I don't know what that sounds like.
I think it depends on the character, right? If it's a bird that's, let's say, squawking a swear word, that's pretty easy and fun. But it depends on the creature, I think.
Okay. So what do you find? Creatures or humans are easier for you?
I mean, people, I guess, are easier. Creatures are fun.
Yeah. Yes.
It's fun. And not always do the creatures have to carry the story. So maybe there's a little more freedom in getting to play and do funky things that you don't have to sustain the whole time.
I was just gonna say that too.
Right? But if you're, a pirate for 18 years, you're just trying to sustain a voice. It's a little bit easier, I guess, with my voice. Than it would be for Colleen, I'm just saying, who plays Luffy, was very different than her own voice.
How about you, Griffin? How do you find it?
I'd say like portraying human emotions can be harder, and then when you put on like a creature voice, it almost for me masks something for me. So I'm kind of like, I feel like I have more liberty.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
I'm not as good on the acting end. So whenever I see a regular person, I don't.
I wasn't
understand.
trying to say that about you.
I'm just saying no. That's
But-
it. Just I connected the dots in my head. Like
For like me personally, if I get an audition where they want it aged up and I see that they're like, oh, we're looking for potentially a British voice, for some reason, when I throw on a British accent, I feel like it's easier to age it up for me. So like sometimes an accent or like an affectation will help me get into that character a little easier. But when it's just, you're a human dude that's 30, and I'm like, okay, do you want it? Sometimes I don't know exactly what they want. So the creatures thing can.
Yeah, I think I separate creatures.
I don't know.
If you were talking about, for me, creatures, like most characters are just characters. Doesn't matter if they're a creature or they're whatever, unless you tell me they have a heavy creature affectation. Do they talk like, do they do something like that? Because if they don't, you could still be a creature. You could be like a wolf guy who's just like, hey, what's going on, bro? What's up? So, but we all know there are those characters that don't sound any different. So when you're talking about like creature sounds, I assume it's like non-talking creatures, or they maybe say one word like Pokemon.
Berger's like this, and he's an alien kind of creature, so.
But that could be a regular guy. That voice also is some wino outside of the bar that meets the main character who's human.
Okay, I see.
Do you see what I'm saying? That voice
see
totally
it.
works for that for me too. So it doesn't have to be a creature. And I do a lot of strong, tough guys that could be human or could be a panda, like that. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't necessarily matter. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So, I don't know.
And you've done creatures and humans.
Yes. So
Oh.
yeah, I play like 40 of the Pokemon, and I did some of the mini puffs in Ghostbusters Afterlife. Easy and hard is a weird one for me. I don't want to be like pretentious about it. It's like it's all kind of easy, and sometimes the only time it's really hard for me to do something is when the writing doesn't sit with me. You know what I mean? When it's just like, when it's a little clunky, or like the text doesn't really make sense to me, or I just don't get it, then it's hard. There are things I audition for, like there are some Adult Swim things I audition for, and I'm like, I just don't get this.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And that's hard, because you're like, you don't want to like do what you think they want. You want to do what you want to do. But you're like, am I totally missing this? And you kind of can't get that out of your head while you're working, and that's not good. So I didn't book it, obviously. That's the only time it's hard. Creatures it's easy. This is all
It's
easy.
it's a fairly simple job. But I just
it was
mean,
hard, I wouldn't
as far
do
as
it.
looking at the character and trying to think of what the character sounds like. It's easier for me to see a creature and then. And I'm learning so
that's
much
your
from you guys.
forte,
This feels
yeah.
like this is my
Yeah.
voiceover class that I'm taking and asking you guys questions, because that was great. That answer, Griffin, was pretty awesome
Thank you.
about the voices and stuff. If you guys would like to line up so that we could ask questions, we're going to go ahead and start opening it up to questions right now. And you can ask any of us. Look at nice. What is the cosplay we're doing here?
This is just how I am, so.
That's just you every day. All right, there you
how you
are.
are. I love it. I love it.
Well, you look blue. All right. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so my question was, how specifically did you get into voice acting? Just generally.
Okay.
So I auditioned, and that is how I got into it. I auditioned. I found out about the audition because I was at a party, and they were like, "Oh, you're a real actor. You should come audition for this company called Funimation." And I said, "Okay, I'll do it because it's paying." And that's how. So the lesson there is just go to parties.
What
That's.
what year was that?
Let's not talk years.
Oh,
like,
just
why do we have to?
Was it last century? Is that what you're talking?
It was over 20 years ago.
Oh,
20
damn.
plus
Oh, it was
years
this
ago.
century. It was the early part of this century.
It was early part of the century.
It was 1872. Okay, the reason I ask is because hers was in 2000s. Ours
Early
was 99. Mine was 99.
Yeah.
And mine was in the back of an actual local magazine, and it was just a 2x4 classified ad that just said looking for people to do cartoon voices, and that's
Yeah.
how I got into Funimation.
I think when I started with Funimation, they had Dragon Ball, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Fruits Basket.
Okay, so that's going to be around 2004.
It was before then.
Okay,
It was
okay, a little before then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yes,
great.
I got into it very sort of traditionally. I had gotten a master's degree in theater, and I really wanted to go to New York, but didn't know anybody and didn't have any money. So I moved to Houston to live with family and make enough money to go to New York. And my first agency I started booking voice work, but it was commercial work, all kinds of voice work. And I was like, this is awesome. It doesn't matter what I look like. How great. And I got an audition for ADV Films through there and that's how I got into anime. Like, it was wild.
I moved to Los Angeles in 2010. I did not have an acting background, but I played in a band and really wanted to pursue music. So I had home recording equipment for doing my music. And as I was scrambling, trying to figure out how I was going to make a living in LA, I happened to get this audition for a voiceover, and I booked it by chance. And so that was really the light bulb moment of like, oh, this is really cool work. I'd like to learn how to get more of it. So I started taking acting classes, and I got a demo made of my voice, and I got an agent. And then over years of auditioning, it became a full-time gig. But it took a little while. And then it took even longer to get recognizable roles and be able to do this stuff. It took about 10 years to get that far. So yeah, it's a bit of a grind, but it's been good.
I was a confused kid. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I wasn't going to do like a 9 to 5 kind of a thing. So I had taken theater classes and choir classes and improv things and inside and outside of school, and kind of struggled to figure out what I wanted to do. Not a lot of focus, but my uncle called me up one day and said, "Hey, I know you do voices and stuff, and I've got an audition if you're interested." And I auditioned, but got to record in an actual studio. Just kind of was like, "Oh, this is a job. Why did I not know this is a job? I love animation. I love all this stuff. Why did I not think of this?" And then it was, all the routines you do. You get into classes and how do I get an agent and all that stuff. But that was the light bulb moment for me where I was like, okay. And it thankfully brought some focus because, by the way, it's difficult when you think you're going to be 20 different things and you're putting in a little bit of effort on each one. That's not a good, start. So, yeah.
So today there are so many different avenues you can take to get to this, but our stories are, kind of similar. I was a rhythmic gymnast, and then I won a medal, and I quit. Yeah, I was like, I'm out. And then my parents put me into Lee Strasberg. I was in New York. I was born and raised there. So I did Lee Strasberg for 4 years, just acting, all facets of acting, except voice acting. I didn't even think about it. It wasn't a thing I wanted to do. And when I was 16, I pounded the pavement. I did a lot of improv, musical improv. I got an agent. And one of those agents sent me on the audition for Pokemon when I was 18 years old, and I happened to book it. So that, for like 3 years after that, that was like all I did. And then I started to get to know people in voice acting in New York. And, I was doing on camera and stuff like that, but voice acting seemed to kind of take me on a little road in New York. So I worked a lot in animation and dubbing in New York and some commercial work. And then I moved to LA like 3 years ago. And it almost feels like I'm starting over, but it's, I'm on an accelerated situation, obviously. Yeah. Because I had been working a lot, so, yeah.
Well, thank you for your question.
Good luck.
Next up, hello.
I know, right?
What would you like to ask?
Hello. Pretty much my question is, it's controversial because it's the dub versus the sub.
Ooh.
It doesn't sound controversial to me.
Pretty much the question is, in your each opinion, do you like the performances of the original language actors, like if it's Japanese actors, or do you sometimes prefer watching your fellow voice actors in America, their performances?
We always love the performances that happen in the original language, I don't think any of us could ever say, no, it's not about being good or bad. It's about your personal preference of, do you want to read today or do you want to listen?
We never got a chance to see ours, though, for Dragon Ball Z. So it was like they had them on VHS, but they never even showed them to us.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with the OC, and I really wanted to learn German and French. So I bought DVDs with German and French dubs and had English subtitles going, and that's what helped me learn languages. So there are so many different reasons to watch a dub versus a sub. I don't think it has anything to do with the quality of the performances, really.
Yeah, people try to make it really black and white, and I don't think it is. I think whatever your preference is fine. There's nothing wrong with either version. What I don't like, and what the controversy is people walk around going, dubs suck, subs suck, and they don't. You know what? Some dubs suck. You know what? Some subs suck.
Yeah.
Because some performances suck and some are not. Some don't. It's all over the place with everything. And we work really hard. I know they work really hard on the original material too. So I just don't think it's that clear. If you like to watch subtitled, by all means, totally watch. I wouldn't argue against it for any. There's no reason to argue against it.
Yeah.
And if you like watching the dubs for animation, I like to watch dubs. I always have, because I love animation. I don't want to have to read anything. I want to see every bit, every explosion, everything that they've animated in there. That's for that. If it's a live action film, generally I want to hear it in its original language, whatever foreign language it's in, with the exception of sometimes hearing my colleagues' performances, because I'm curious about how it came out.
Yeah.
It can definitely be both. I learned to dub at kind of a Wild West studio where we record over the Japanese. There are no beeps, and we just chase everything. So I came up hearing the Japanese in my ear the whole time. And again, they're audio cues for me. I'm very comfortable with that. It helps me know how to read. So there's that. I also have a one-piece group chat of all the Straw Hats. And we get up in there and tell each other how great, we're all watching with our families and running up in there to each other going, you are so funny.
Yeah.
No, you're so funny, right?
Yeah.
It can be both. I think that's a fandom
Thing.
argument.
Yeah.
How about you, Griffin?
I agree.
Not us, and it's not the Japanese. Like, I've never met a Japanese person who wasn't just delightful and we all just fawn over
my goodness,
each other,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, they're always so happy to meet us. I've never
Griffin, what do you got to
experienced-
say?
had a bad experience yet.
I wouldn't add anything else. I think I agree. It's just personal preference. Some days it's nice to watch a dub, and other times it's probably better for the sub. Yeah.
I will just add that controversy is almost exclusively online.
Yeah.
Right? I've never had somebody come up to me and be like, you suck, you
Yeah.
do dubs. You know what I mean?
You're
What
lucky.
I have had people come up to me, though, is say, I normally watch subs, but I really liked this show, right? Because it is both. So a lot of times those really intense fights that happen are pretty much online. It's not something I've ever experienced in my face, you know?
Well, I do have a preference when it comes to Dragon Ball Z. Now, when it comes to Dragon Ball Z, I prefer abridged. I didn't. That was how I actually learned about what the storyline was. Because, I was 30 years old, I had a family, I was doing the voices, going home and doing stand-up. So I didn't really watch any of it until Abridged came out, and I watched it and I was like, oh, okay, all right, this is funny. So that connected with me. I never saw a sub of it, and I didn't watch the dubs, or I'd walk by the TV and go, oh, that's what I did. I don't know why it didn't connect with me. All right.
I wanted to add something real quick. I think dubs have gotten better over the years. Like, I took this. I want to tell this real quick story because I still think about this today. I took this workshop probably 10 years ago, and I think it was for an original animation casting director. And there was a guy in there who's older, seasoned actor, and he completely shat on dubbing. He was like, anime dubbing is not acting. And he did most of his dubbing in like the 80s. And honestly, sometimes when if I've watched like some of those 80s dubs, they fucking suck. Sorry. Some of them suck. No offense, but and he's like, yeah, that shit's not acting. And I'm thinking, some of these animes I come in on now, the performance I'm giving is no different than when I book original animation. Like, I'm on Cartoon Network shows, I'm Ken and Barbie. It's not really that different to me. But there was like this real big bias when I started my career. It was like, dubbing is like, if you do that, you'll stick with an affectation and you won't be able to work original animation. And it's like, that's actually, I think that's total bullshit, especially nowadays. I think the dubs have gotten so much better. So, not to say like watch the dub, but when you're talking about 80s dubbing, 70s versus now.
They didn't put the same time and money into the dubs at the time. It was churn it out as quickly as possible.
You're
Nobody
exactly right.
cares. It's just so that it's in English. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Even video games were not. It's not that they didn't put the same in. There were no directors originally for video games. The people who did the game did all the directing. Sometimes did the acting. They were like, my sister's an actor. Throw her in the game. If you go
Yes.
far back enough.
My sister's present.
Yes.
Throw her in the
Yeah,
game.
exactly.
Yes.
So listen to a voiceover from video games early in that when that happened, and it's
an
really bad
example.
too. And it's not necessarily the actor's fault. Everything was working against them at that point.
Well, in what he's saying, when Funimation first acquired Dragon Ball Z and we were doing it, they didn't care if you were an actor or not. They had no preference. They were just like, can you do a voice? Can you sound different? And so they hired Chris Sabat to sound different in all the roles. So all right, so thank you for
Ouch.
Sparked a good conversation there.
Thank you for the question.
Oh, are you okay? I feel like you were really passionate about that. Are you all right?
Yeah,
I'm fine. It still sticks with me because I was like, man, this guy's bitter.
Where's that guy now? though?
Bitter.
Where is he?
Where is he now? Is he around?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't think he's working.
Exactly, that's the point.
Surprise, Griffin. He's right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Oh shit. Not sorry.
What is your question there?
So I know I had a chance to ask a couple of you guys this. Throughout your career, what's the most challenging, difficult part about being a voice actor?
It's lonely.
Yes.
It's really lonely
Yes.
for me, and I'm sure not everyone. Actually,
No,
on the
I
stage, probably.
I totally agree.
Because you don't have work friends. It's not like a place
Until
where
I
you
started
can go.
doing this, I didn't know anybody.
Thank
I
you.
knew like 10 people.
Exactly.
And and
People-
you're not working together like in an office.
People
and
are
there's no water
weirded
cooler,
out
and there's
that I
no
just met somebody
hello.
I just met you for the first time, and I mean, we kind of worked on some of the same things. It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird industry. That's the part. The loneliness is correct. When we come here onto the, hey, Jesse James is here, joining us.
Hello.
All right. Tell her. Do we have
Wheelchair.
Do we have a mic? Do we have a mic as well? Or do no? Do we run out of mics? Would you please share a mic with Jesse real quick, Lucy? And would you please let him?
Yes.
Just to introduce yourself,
Oh,
to let
hi.
everybody know who you are. That you're barging in on our.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what
no,
you've
I'm
done, barging
trashing.
in.
Yeah.
We knew you were coming.
Hi, my name is Jesse James Greeley. I've been a voice actor for about 22 years. I've also been a scriptwriter for 10 or 12 years. You might know me from Attack on Titan. I'm the voice of Armin Arlaert and the narrator. In My Hero Academia, I'm
Tokoyami Fumikage.
and Dark Shadow. And Yuri Katsuki and Yuri on Ice, Issei Hyoda and DxD, Tyrion and Ruby.
All right, thank you. That's been our panel for tonight. That is great, Jesse James. So the question that was just asked was, what is the most difficult part of this for you? What is the most difficult part of voice acting for you?
When you only get to go in for a little bit, because I like getting, I get into the mood to go in and perform and everything, and then it's your 10-minute session or a 15-minute session for a recurring character or something, and then, it feels, it can be a little.
Sarah said the loneliness, because it does get lonely. It's hard to meet friends.
By yourself,
Mostly
you don't get to see
people
each other
meet
until
friends at their
cons.
workplace, and they have friends that they can go to. But us, we meet friends on the road now. So that's basically if we meet somebody and we're with them in that booth, in that celebrity petting zoo area, soaking on our juices like veal in our booths. We're there with them for like 8 hours a day. So, so we just chat most of the time. We get to know them and exchange numbers. That's how it happens now. So it's not as lonely now that cons have come around.
Yeah.
I think, too, the stamina, sometimes, depending on what you're doing, a lot of our voices require a lot. And keeping your voice clear and strong is legit. That's not the easiest all the time.
All right. Well, thank you for the question. Hello.
Hi. I was wondering, have you guys ever voiced a character and then gone back and wished that you could have done something a little bit different with them?
Every freaking time.
I actually have a good answer for this, I think. We're both in Vinland Saga. And there's like 2 dubs. There's a Netflix and then Crunchyroll or Sentai. And they, for whatever reason, I voiced Canute in that series. So does Jesse. And Canute starts off young and mild-mannered, kind of pathetic, and then he becomes sort of like this badass king. They would not let me dip my voice that much lower. They had me play him young, but then when we started the more adult stuff, they like kept me in this really tight zone of like, don't go too low with your voice. We want him to like sound like the Japanese or whatever. But to me, I watched those clips and I'm like, oh, I wish you'd just let me like beef him up a little bit because he gets kind of more aggressive. So some of the comments on YouTube are like, I like Jesse's older version better. No, but I'm just teasing. But I wish I like had an opportunity to I don't know, give him a little more depth or something.
He was an amazing character.
Anyone else?
Yeah, it's a cool character.
Yeah, I'll say.
So now you know we read YouTube comments.
We do. I see it all.
We're out there.
That's dangerous.
I will say we're very lucky to do what we're doing. and to keep getting to do those things. So I actively try not to look back and wish for what coulda, shoulda, woulda been, because I'm so happy to be present in this moment. And if I'm not here focusing on this character and I'm worried about that character, then I'm not giving this character what they deserve, right? So I try not to do that just in life in general. The past is the past. Things happen, we can learn from it. But to dwell on, gosh, I would have really loved to have, I could have do that for every character, and I would never be satisfied. And I would rather be happy with what I've done. Yeah.
And sorry.
That was a good
I was going to
answer.
say, just part of art and performance is letting it go. Anything. You do a painting, you have to say at one point, I'm done.
Yep.
This is it.
Yes.
And it's a hard thing to do. And then you have to let it go. So all of us, any of us in our daily jobs, whatever they are, I'm sure there's a day you're like, I wish I had a do-over, but you move on. You really spend your time wishing to do it over. So you let it go. Sometimes I'm sure we all watch something we did a ways back and cringe a bit. Maybe just not at the whole thing, but at a choice. Oh, that line was weird. Or wow, what a choice. Why did I make that choice? It was 20 years ago, but... So you let those go. They're out there. They're in the universe. Generally, people already love those shows and love those games anyway. So you just got to go, all right, what's next? And go forward and learn, take that lesson. I won't do that again if you didn't like it,
Exactly. I did Wingle on an inhale. Wingle. And then I got asthma for like a year. I'm better now. And I couldn't do it anymore, so I had to change it. I'm really sorry, guys. So then it became on an exhale. I just regret the whole thing. I regret all of it.
I remember the Winkle drama. That was huge for a while.
It was huge.
I'm so glad you're able to work
Everybody
again.
was talking about it, dude. TMZ called. They were like, that Wingle is not what it was.
There was a show called Clanad or Clanid, and it's a precious show. It's the emotional trauma show, and but I wish we could do that again because we were working with a director who did not love the show, and I wonder what it might have been like if David and I could have gotten to do that show with somebody who loved it and let us have a little more fun with it.
Good All right, question. Thank you very much for the question.
Thank you.
We feel like it's fun.
Hello, what is your question?
Hello, my name is Nathan. I would like to ask a question specifically for the voice actor of Nami.
Oh, hello.
Have you ever met the live action actors?
I have not yet. I've met some of them, but I haven't met Emily yet, who plays Nami. But we've met, we've met Buggy, Jeff, who plays Buggy, and we've met Usopp, and we've met Aiden, who plays Helmeppo, and last we've hung out with Mihawk, Steven, who plays Mihawk, and they're all delightful, sweet people. In fact, the nicest thing they said was we were like, we took over from a cast that existed. It's kind of weird. You took over a show that has 20-something years of existence. How weird is that? And they were like, oh yeah, we know if we screwed up, they're gonna come for us. So, which I thought was very cool of them.
The acknowledgement.
There you go. Thank you for your question. Hello.
Hi. So I wanted to ask, for those of you that have games or have shows, do you guys go back and watch the entire series, like One Piece, or do you guys like
a thousand
do you guys
episodes?
play Genshin? Right.
Every day.
No. It's just background noise for me. No, I play Dragon Ball Z background all day. No, 24/7. It's just
I try to see a little bit of what I can. I think even just an episode, if you can.
Yes.
There are things I've totally watched, like Hunter x Hunter I've seen all of, for example. I've seen all of Miraculous. But there's lots of things I've seen 1 or 2 episodes or 1 season. It's nice to see how it turned out. And it's very different creating the character internally and then watching it externally later and going, oh, I see how it all fits together now. That's a different vibe for me. And then I see the characters how you guys see the characters, which is a kind of a fun thing to know.
Can I give a serious answer?
Yeah.
Because that's not true.
Please.
So Pokemon, it's like 800 episodes. So at some point, every season when it comes out, I watch at least 2 episodes, and then I fall off unless there's a kid around me and the kid wants to watch it. With Alia, I watch the Japanese episodes right before I record the English all the way through. And then I did watch I wanted to see what it is. But that was like 10 episodes. So that was easy. Otherwise, no, only when my little cousin is watching RoboCarpoli, and it's so delightful. He loves it, and none of you care about it. But I don't care. Because he loves it, and I did something special.
Well, I didn't watch it. My kids were 4 and 5 when I was doing voices for Dragon Ball Z, and I tried to watch one episode with them. They didn't get into it, so I didn't get into it. They got into Pokemon. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't get into it, and so maybe that's why I had a disconnect from it as well, and why one of the reasons why I left was because I didn't understand it. So Abridged helped me.
If I was a fan of the show, I'll go back and watch it. But a lot of the times, if I get to see something again, like I'm with my gamer friends or something on Discord, and a lot of them have never watched anime before, and sometimes they'll be like, oh, show me something. And so like I've watched Attack on Titan 3 times in the last 6 months and stuff, and it's great. Like it can be really fun to go back and watch stuff, either that you were in or not. Like I go back and watch 90s anime over and over again all the time, like Slayers.
Yes, I watch some of it. I don't watch everything, but I'm watching One Piece with my kids right now. We are in the 380s.
Wow.
That's awesome. Wow.
You watch one a day. 3 years later, you'll be done.
It's very slow because my 13-year-old wants to watch all the opens.
Aww.
You know, right? That is not how you watch the show.
That's so special.
Slow way. But they're turning me on to stuff like, I don't know how many Death Notes I've signed over the years, but I'd never watched the show.
Great show.
And my 15-year-old was like, Mom, like, it's embarrassing that you... Oh, my God. And she's right. Now I love it, and it's great.
They say that's the one that you want to start people out on. I've heard people even say, I recommend Death Note being the first one.
Depending on the age.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't know.
That's right. So all of those actors are going to be at a show I'm at the end of the month. Am I going to buy a piece of merch and get all of them to sign it? Yes, I think
so. Yeah.
That rocks.
Yes, I am.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi. Questions for the whole panel. I don't know exactly how the process works, so if I'm off on this, forgive. When recording, do you ever actually get to record with other voice actors in the room and bounce off each other? And if not, would that be beneficial, or would that throw you off in the process?
It's like
we don't have it.
well, when you're doing dubbing specifically, it's really, really hard to schedule multiple actors at the same time. It's like herding cats. I've heard of it being done like within the last 20 years. I've heard of it being done twice, and you were on one of them with Matt Greenfield.
That's right.
And it's like if you're doing stuff like commentary or stuff like that, it's doable, but like multiple actors doing a dub scene, it can be pretty tedious, and we're also a bunch of goofballs, so nothing would get done. It's
set up differently too. Like if you're doing original animation, you're basically getting paid for like a 4-hour session, generally speaking, and you could go in with most of the cast, all of the cast, some of the cast, and you read a script and you bounce off each other and you do scene by scene or however the director wants to do it, and it's great. The energy flows. You get different reads than you might have gotten the other way. But when you're dubbing, they're paying you by the hour, generally speaking. Yeah. So if you guys are there while I'm doing an hour of lines, that means they got to be paid while they're working and they're not doing anything. And most studios are not like, yeah, bring everybody in. We want to pay everyone for everyone's hours. It just doesn't, it's not practical because you have to focus on, the lines.
Also, I think if we did that, all the engineers would quit. Yeah, because each individual line, they make sure fits in that pre-existing animation. They make sure the sound's all. So if they have an entire scene to do, it will take them hours to get through everybody. So the one at a time is not just for us, it's for the engineers to be able to place that a little more easily. So I think, yeah, if you're doing, it's nice to be able to bounce off people, but that's why I think when we're talking about like people who want to be voice actors, do theater, do stage, do film, do something where you have to have another person with you so that when you have to pretend that someone's with you, you know what that's like.
Yeah, so true. If you want to see process, I did a video with Vanity Fair in 2019. Just Google like Vanity Fair, Sara Natochenny, Pokemon, and you'll see like a 15-minute, 20-minute long video on the process of dubbing. Like teachers are using it in their classes and stuff.
I've only done dubbing. I haven't been a part of an ensemble, which is where you sit around the table and then they draw the cartoon after. I think that, as a stand-up comedian, I would prefer, because I listen weird and I have a tendency to be able to improvise and come up with something fast on the spot, whereas dubbing is just, here's your line. Well, what if I said it this way? Well, you added an extra syllable and his mouth is not moving that extra time, so you can't say that. So that's my preference.
I can just tell you that in the last 15 years, I've done maybe 6 or 7 ensemble records. So it's very, very infrequent. And it's only been for original animation or some random...
Which do you prefer?
I prefer solo.
Really?
I prefer solo, to be honest. I think, personally, I get anxious when I'm working with a bunch of people that I don't know what's going to come out of their mouths, to be frank. And I like efficiency. I like to just kind of get in, do my lines, and leave. When you're just kind of with an ensemble and they have you there for 4 hours and they're like, we got to get through these 30 pages, sometimes you're just sitting there waiting until your lines come up. So that's my personal preference.
Okay. That's totally fair.
Yeah.
Everybody, we're all different people. We all like
Yeah.
different things. And I think there's advantages to both. There's something about being solo and you've got a real dramatic scene or monologue or what's going on, and it's just you. You get to 100% focus. You do a take, maybe I'm ready to dig a little deeper on that second take, and there's nothing changing that energy for you. Whereas when you're in a group, obviously everybody's energy, as soon as you have a line, then maybe there's a different energy, and then you have a different energy, which is what you want, but it could throw you off a little bit. Or a dialect that's messing me up, right? You're doing something similar to my dialect, and I'm like, oh crap, I can't keep it straight now.
Right.
So everything has its advantages and disadvantages.
I'm so sad that I like missed the heyday of group records because it's like all I want to do. I'm the total opposite. It's so interesting. So weird because we both hate asparagus.
That's true. Oh, we learned this last night.
Yeah, last night I was like, oh my God. We get
We
it.
connected over our hatred for asparagus.
Now they're mortal enemies.
Mortal enemies. All I want is group records. I want to see all the crazy shit people say. Oh my God, it's great. We have such a, I miss improv.
Thank you
It's
for
fun.
your question.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
If
we
anybody
have
wants to do it, Sam
time,
Jackson.
so why don't we just do lightning round real quick?
Yeah, we have a
just get
lightning round of
one-
questions. So go ahead and we'll just try to let one or two of us answer. Go ahead, come on up.
So I'm trying to get some friends and family into anime. So what are some animes that you've voiced in that you would recommend for starters?
For all family.
The gateway anime. Fairy Tale. It's not too long. It's got a good story. It's got fun characters. Fairy Tale.
What's the youngest person that you're trying to
who are you
introduce into anime?
14.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, Fairy Tale. Fairy Tale's a great start.
Thank
Or
you.
Soul Leader. Soul Leader would be good
Soul
too.
Leader. That's a great one. Soul Leader.
All right. Thank you for your question.
Thank you for your question.
Next
tried.
up, we got time for these real quick.
Hello. I
Hello.
was wondering if y'all ever get recognized, like in the wild.
Twice in 22 years.
There you go. No, doesn't happen.
Yeah, several times. Starbucks, airport. Starbucks. Yeah, and an Amazon Fresh store. Yeah. Yes.
It happens, but it doesn't happen very often, which is what makes it kind of cool when it does. My favorite time of that is I was at a Target in the checkout, and the checker, she said, "You sound like my favorite voice actor." And my wife goes, "Who's your favorite voice actor?" She goes, "Keith Silverstein," and kind of looked at me. And we already were like, this is not happening, right? Like, there's no way this is real,
That's
right? We're
awesome.
like, this is crazy. And then she says, "Oh my God, I love Miraculous. It's my favorite show. Would you do a video right now?" And I'm like, I mean, there's somebody behind me. There's a woman behind us. I said, "I don't mind it. I would." But I looked at her and she goes, "The woman behind me, my daughter and I are big fans of the show." And I was like, "Shut up." So I totally did a video right there.
Nice.
I love it at my kids' schools. Miss, is it true you're Nami? Yeah. I love that.
I'm so sorry. I have to apologize to everybody. I've been getting the signal that we have to wrap this up.
Okay.
And so we're just real quick going to let you, we're going to plug ourselves so that we can tell you where to see us or come by our tables, whatever,
for sure.
whatnot. So go ahead. We'll start with Jesse.
I'll be at my table for the next hour before packing up, and if you would ever, I stream on Twitch as a VTuber named Mimcubus. If you ever want to come and check out my stream, please come, and I would love to see you, and please say hi. I met you at such and such con.
Yes, I will also be at my table. I'm Lucy with an I, loves mic, like microphone, on Instagram. I also do audiobooks. If you're an audiobook person, Luci Christian on Audible.
I will be back at my table for about an hour or two before we gotta go. But I'm on Instagram and TikTok and just my name. And also, Borderlands 4 is coming out September 12th. Thank you. I'm on the narrative team for that, so I've been writing it for the past 4 years. Check it out, it's a lot of fun, and I've been playing it. It's fantastic.
We'll go with Griffin next. Then.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be at my table from 2:15 till 3:30. Then I'm heading out. And you can find me online, Griffin Burns, for all my socials. I'm almost to 1 million on TikTok, so you better follow me there. I'm very close. Thank you.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'll be here, same thing, just for about 45 minutes more, so come on by, because once I start packing up, I know you guys, then you want the autographs, and I'm like, I gotta go, sorry. And check out Sakamoto Days on Netflix.
Hey.
I'm Sara Natochenny all over social media. I peek in Instagram stories. That's where I do my best work. I have some stuff coming out which you can discover if you follow me on social media.
Yes.
Oh, yes. No, I can't say anything. Bye.
All right.